to go.
Hello and welcome back to episode 4, Light the Horseman. That's right, episode 4 of Rudimentary, the podcast where we take the basic things and make them difficult. I am your host, Travis Rude, joined, as always, by the two debaters, both of them. That's right. We're going to start off over here with Funkel. Funkel, how are you on the west side?
Oh, I'm doing great on the west side. It is a beautiful day. Just witnessed the sunset. Nice 78 with a breeze. Cool breeze. So
Cool breeze.
All is good over on the west side. How about the Midwest? Everything good up there?
It's you know what? It's better than it was last week. I just got back in from Utah. So
boy, are your arms tired.
That's right. Utah is beautiful if you like nature and those kind of things. It's dude, it's beautiful. The owner of our company took me out there and his second oldest son, and we were out there doing a job for one of his original customers way back when he was in college. He went to BYU, and so he took us on BYU's campus. Dude, literally
gorgeous.
It's amazing. Literally, you walk out of one of the buildings, the mountains are right there.
Yeah.
And I got to see Ty Detmer's Heisman.
That's cool.
Yep. Got to see the Punky QB's jersey from BYU, Jim McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
His jersey is in their Hall of Fame. That's right. And dude, he was getting there's a picture of him by the jersey getting some award or nominated for some award. Sunglasses. The only dude in the picture wearing his sunglasses.
The Punky QB.
Known as McMahon. Andy, also Midwest. How are you?
I'm doing well. Balmy 72 degrees out right now. No, it's a good night. A little rain in the forecast, I think, tomorrow, but aside from that, doing all right.
Excellent. We are happy to be here with you guys. We are continuing to turn out the episodes, social media. Finally, there's some big things popping. Big things.
Are they now? The kids are saying.
So they say.
So they say.
After Wednesday night, I looked forward to this episode even more because of what transpired actually Thursday. It started Wednesday, but came to fruition Thursday. And that is our first topic. For those of you that know us and know Andy and the group we mentioned before likes to push each other's buttons. And one of the things that pushes Andy's buttons more than anything is King James. That's
King
right.
James.
Wednesday was round 1 of the draft. There wasn't really much going on except for let's hop on that real quick. Andy, if there was one country that you're not a fan of for one reason or another, not to alienate you out there, but just, hey, we like to rank things. If there was a country out there that just kind of push those buttons, what country would that be?
France.
But there it is with no hesitation. France had 4 players drafted in the first round of the NBA draft and 3 in the top 6. The number 1, number 2, and number 6 pick all came from France.
We come from France.
So before we talk about His Highness, let's talk about France. Andy, how do you feel about 4 Frenchmen being drafted in the first round of the NBA draft?
If it wasn't for what happened in the second round, I would be like, what is going on? But to me, France is small potatoes here in this draft. There's something that gets on my nerves just a bit more in the second round.
Funkel, when you heard, maybe it was now that you just heard about 4 Frenchmen being drafted in the NBA draft, that ties a record for non-USA players drafted in the first round, tied with Canada. What do you think? What does that say to you about whether it's the state of the NBA or the state of the basketball in the world catching up to us?
Well, I think that's what it is more than anything. Their plan was to go international and global, and it started with the Dream Team that we talked about last week, and it seems to be having an effect. It's gotten other people in other nations and countries wanting to play basketball, and so their plan 30 years ago is coming to fruition, and there's a lot of other countries that are starting to be competitive with what the homegrown Americans have been. So I I didn't know it pushed your button so much, which makes me love it even more. So good on them. If I knew that, this is the first time hearing about the 4 Frenchmen being drafted in the first round. I was the first person to text out about Bronny. I know I was excited about that news.
I bet you were.
But now I'm even more excited about that. I'm going to start reading up on this drafting.
As we all know, last NBA season, Victor Wembanyama from France was drafted number 1 and proved to be a star in the making. Just an amazing rookie season. When it came to stats wise, record wise, we'll forget that. We'll push that to the side. Let's just focus on stats. Great season. I listened to an interview with an assistant coach in the NBA who was at one point a head coach of a French national team. And he said within 3 to 4 years, France could compete with the U.S. as the best national basketball team in the world. And if that happens, Lord willing, we are still doing this podcast 4 years from now.
Yeah.
And if France beats the USA in a game of basketball, then there will be this guy just starring and just irate.
Well, let's jump back to that for just a second.
Sure.
On the rest of the world catching up to the U.S., it makes me wonder about a correlation with the way the college rules are set up and the way the NBA, is setting up to go ahead and basically the one and dones, right? You're seeing more refined players coming out of Europe.
Yes.
You're getting a lot of guys declaring at 19 years old who just weren't built like LeBron was coming out of high school. And they're rough around the edges. These guys out of Europe, they play year round, a lot of them.
Yep.
And the dedication seems to be there. The U.S., the mindset, and I'm not faulting anybody. Get your money.
Yep.
But you see so many people wanting to one and done it, and then they never become anything. And I think that's what you're seeing is a more refined product coming out of Europe.
And you look at Jokic, who could have 4 MVPs. He lost to Embiid last year, but then won it this year. The guy, Jokic is probably the best basketball player in the NBA.
And he's playing his second favorite sport.
Yes. His first favorite being, Andy?
Whatever the hell that is with the horse pulling the wagon.
Yes. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Jokic, he's on record saying basketball is his second favorite sport.
Yeah, it's like some horse racing with some two-wheel cart that goes. I don't know. They used to call it, I don't know, a steeplechase or something in the States. I have no idea what it's called over there.
Get Order on the horn. He's got some.
He's got some money on it right now.
Yeah, he knows
The
all
Eastern
that.
European Federation Cup.
Whip him! Whip him!
He comes on. He's just like, "Hey, Dad, need some tips?"
Hey.
Yep.
Is it the carriage race?
Well, it was,
It's like carriage racing.
Was it just like the race in Ben-Hur? Where
I was gonna say,
yeah,
Ben-Hur.
Yeah, you have to look it up. It's crazy, man. That's his first love.
This is first. I mean, like doing it or betting on it or watching it.
No, like doing it. But I think that the problem is those guys that usually do it are pretty small.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah,
he ain't gonna be winning.
The horse looks back and goes, "What are you doing?"
It's like drag racing with the Prius. You don't want to do that. You don't win much.
So moving on. Let's talk about what happened Thursday in round 2. Round 2 was interesting, especially around the 25th pick. What happened at pick 25 in round 2, you asked? History, folks. History was made. Snakes, you tested out first. Can you enlighten us on the history that was made at pick 25?
Yeah, the Lakers drafted in their second round pick Bronny James. So we have a King James and we got a Prince James on the Lakers. So it's just, and they wear purple and gold. So that's the color of royalty. I don't know if you knew that, but
that's it, dude. That's a great correlation. Championship.
Right? Yeah.
What number is LeBron wearing right now? I lost track. Is he 6 or is he 22?
It's number 1 if we're talking about points all time scored. I know that.
Yeah.
Is that right? It
is.
That's the number he's wearing. All time points leader in the NBA.
Yeah.
I believe he's 6.
6?
That sounds right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anybody want to guess what Bronny's wearing?
9.
You are correct.
Oh, I think he.
No,
you are lying.
I'm not.
They're 6 and 9.
Yes.
Hold on. I had to look it up. LeBron is going back to 23.
Damn
it.
Looking for accuracy on this.
If they were 6 and 9, Bronny wouldn't be around.
So LeBron is going to take over the number 23 again. Like
LeBron will never take over the number 23.
Oh, yeah. Do you think they're going to retire 23 all through the NBA?
If they didn't do it before, they're not doing it now.
Yeah.
Well, when God forbid Jordan doesn't make it through 100 years of life, when he passes away, they probably will then, no?
They should have already. So I'm pissed.
Yeah. I saw that they did that with Willie Mays for the Giants. They all wore a 24 in honor of
him.
Yeah.
Well, Jackie Robinson Day.
And Jackie Robinson Day. Yeah.
Everybody wears it.
Yep. Yes. I love that. That's great.
So awesome.
Yeah.
So LeBron is playing with his son, first in the NBA. We've seen it before in other sports. We've seen it in baseball. We've seen it in hockey, auto racing. But you look at basketball, a couple things that came out as it was getting closer to being drafted. Supposedly, the agent for the James family sent out a memo to the other teams that, again, accuracy. So this is unfounded. But many places were reporting that there was a memo going out that if a team other than the Lakers were to draft Bronny James, that Bronny would go to play in Australia this year.
Yeah, I'd heard it was either Phoenix or LA.
So, hey, that's one way to get on Pop's team. Kind of basically.
Yeah, I think if he would have went to Phoenix with LeBron being a free agent, those were two places LeBron wanted to play.
Yep.
And so that's the only reason that was like that.
Yeah, you can play with KD Another super team.
Yeah, that's always worked.
LeBron and Bronny, super team.
That's all you need.
That is.
Mhm.
And your thoughts on Bronny getting drafted into the NBA? Not even a undrafted free agent, but being a legitimate NBA draft pick. Your thoughts?
It sucks.
No, okay.
There's no two ways about it. Those are the most garbage stats in the history of a second round player being drafted. Just absolutely asinine. 4.8 points?
Yep.
4.8 points out of USC. 1 year, one and done. What? 2 rebounds and maybe 2 assists. And this guy's going in the second round. Played under the size of 6'4", I think, at USC. Then he gets to the draft combine, and the official measurement is 6'1". So you're drafting
Really?
Yep, a 6'1" guard who can't score and average 2 assists. What are they doing? Nepotism. That's what they're doing.
4.8, 2.8, and 2.1.
Yeah. Ridiculous numbers. Nobody with those numbers who isn't last name James is getting a sniff. And it's not like LeBron has really ruled LA either. He's got one fake championship in LA. And that's it.
He called it the hardest championship anybody's ever had to win because of the bubble.
Yeah, fake.
Wait, didn't they have 2 championships? Didn't one of the mid-season championship?
That's not a championship. That's not a championship.
You are on tonight, sir. You are on.
That's not a championship.
Sorry, MJ. How many mid-season championships do you have?
That's right.
Did they make the playoffs this year?
All right, moving right along.
They did not make the playoffs. The in-season champion did not make the playoffs. Looks like the rest of the league could give a crap about the in-season championship. Man.
Oh, what a start to this episode, guys.
That's just stupid. Somewhere out there, there's somebody that's not going to have a roster spot because of this guy. And
so almost got it out of you.
How do I add deep posts? Got it.
It's not. I mean, he doesn't need the money. I mean, can you imagine any other player with those stats and, an obvious heart problem? Who is taking the chance on a player like that?
Yeah. Do you think it's a lack of motivation? He hasn't been motivated. Does he have actual talent and he just didn't have to really step up because he's LeBron's son?
I don't think. I think what you're seeing is his talent level, which is, honestly, I don't think he's playing it again. I don't even think he's playing at a school like USC, which isn't a perennial basketball power without LeBron. I mean, those are, he might put up double digits, 15 in Division II ball. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's just, I don't know. You'll see. I mean, he'll have a target on him if he plays at all. Watch him start. That'll be my favorite thing.
Do you think he's any better than the balls? What are their names?
I think he's going to be wearing better shoes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Yeah. Wow.
But do you think the balls
I don't know.
are better?
The ball brothers, they're taller, aren't they? I think that's one of the issues.
Yeah,
I mean,
so.
If this dude had super handles and was an assist maker, but I mean, who wants those numbers? It doesn't get easier in the NBA.
He must be a defensive specialist.
Mm-hmm.
What helped Bronny was at the combine.
His dad.
His dad was at the combine?
His dad helped him. That's what helped him.
At the combine, he recorded a 40.5-inch vertical leap, which was the 4th highest among combine participants. He was above average in his agility drills and shot 19 of 25 in the 3-point shooting drill, which ranked 2nd of all the combine invitees.
Okay, pretty good.
Yeah, let's get to the league. I can't wait to watch.
Yeah.
ESPN Top 100 after the combine. They originally had Bronny the 98th best prospect in the top 100. After the combine, all the way up to 54th.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep,
he made some movement prior to the draft.
Top 98th percentile, right?
Yeah, I can't wait.
So
what's gonna make you happy about this?
Oh wow,
the crash and burn.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. You know me. You know what I like watching.
Yeah, I do.
Yep. I am actively rooting against him and his dad.
Careful you don't pull a hammy doing that, man.
Actively rooting.
Yeah. Jumping and hoorah.
Before the show, we just saw a video of a good friend of ours, Ort, actively rooting after throwing a football. So I hope you're not rooting like that, because that didn't look good.
That didn't look healthy at all.
Yeah.
I think the thing that puts a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. Me, I don't care. Hey, I'm a Lakers fan, have been for a long time. But the fact that it's a Lakers organization. If this happened and it was Charlotte, okay. If it's another small market team, hey, all right. If it's the Pacers and they drafted him and LeBron's like, yeah, I'll go play for you. Cool. Awesome. But being a franchise like the Lakers, it kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. But hey, another ring and I'll be okay.
Can't they change him?
For
Can't
who?
they, improve what? I mean, this is just coming out of college. They can put him to the old Laker grinder and spit him out to be a Rick Fox, no?
Wow.
They didn't do anything with Anthony Davis, who I don't think is going to be a Laker next year. And
no, he is probably.
They won a championship with them, didn't they?
No, I mean the past 2 years they haven't done much. They went to Western Conference, but this year they didn't do anything. And now I don't know who they're going to add.
Yeah, they've swung and missed on the Nets.
They're missing a lot of pieces.
Yep.
And
they got a new head coach, so maybe he'll be able to put it together.
And my favorite thing to mention that I mentioned last week, and every time we talk about the Lakers, I'm going to mention it again, that the highest attendance in a basketball game in LA this year was for the Fever versus the Sparks. Not even the Lakers didn't have a higher attendance game than that WNBA game. So that should tell you exactly what LA's tired of LeBron. They should be.
Winning cures everything.
That's a good point. Winning cures everything.
And they're not winning.
They will be. They got Bronny. And who was their first pick? Didn't they get somebody that was supposed to be really good?
For next show, I want to go ahead and come up with a bet.
Oh,
okay. We'll come up with a bet.
You know a guy.
And we'll figure out what the payoff will be. I think something like whatever is the worst tasting alcohol. That person has to do a shot on the air.
Okay.
If Bronny doesn't, and we'll figure it out. We'll see what the projected stats for Bronny is, and I'll take the under, and somebody take the over, whatever they are, under.
And as the host, I can't drink, so obviously it falls to Snakes.
No problem.
There are some FanDuel future bets already. We'll bring those up next week. Going back to father-son combos, who do you guys think? We're going to start with the pop quiz questions already. I told them there was going to be one later on. I just thought of one.
Here we go. Yeah.
Who is, to you, the greatest father-son duo in all of sports?
Who would you like to start with? Trav? Rude?
Let's see. You know what? I started the conversation with Andy Funkel. Who do you got?
I got the Griffey boys.
Solid choice.
Right out the gate. They're the only father-son combo to ever homer in the same game. The same inning, I think. Didn't they go back to back?
That was watching those two out there.
incredible. And that's why I know I'm grinding your gears over there, Rude, but I'm looking at it in a business aspect, not as a fan, but the business aspect of it, of LeBron coming from nowhere, Cleveland, going straight to a profession, a job out of high school, and basically collecting generational wealth. And now he's bringing his son into the family business. That's kind of the American dream. And if we're looking at it in a broader scope, a lot of people that didn't have the same uh, opportunities in the past centuries are getting new opportunities, and what they're doing with it can change their generation and their lives for generations down the line. And for him to bring his son along to the, like I said, the family business, I thought that was an endearing thing. But I'm not a huge basketball fan. I'm not a diehard Lakers fan. Um, so that's why I don't see it as a big thing. And like you said, see, he's taken somebody else's job because of who his dad is, and telling the organization to draft him. I didn't really pay attention to that until you said something about it. So that's a good point that you bring up. But I thought it was a good Hallmark movie kind of situation.
Yeah, I can see that. My biggest problem with it is his numbers don't support him being there. So that'd be like
Yeah.
Junior Griffey coming
Yeah.
into the league batting under 250 with fill in the blank minor league home runs, or
Right.
or out of college or out of high school because he got drafted at 18.
Hmm.
His numbers supported the fact that he belonged, and his dad wasn't,
Yeah.
you know, his dad didn't have the kind of pull to go in and say, bring my son here or else. And that's exactly what happened in LA.
Yeah.
That part of it stinks.
I had a buddy that played against one of my coaches back in the day. I think it wasn't Randy Moss, but Rodney
Oh
Moss.
yeah. Rodney Moss.
Yeah, he pitched against Griffey, hit a 500-foot bomb off him in high school.
Yeah. And he blew out his arm, and then he was an assistant coach at Southside.
Rodney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Good dude. He's a lot of fun.
well, the guys on the team, some wanted to get into the cage against him because he could still throw some heat.
Yeah.
And even with that elbow that was surgically repaired, and he
Right.
one of our guys got hit right on the inside of the elbow, and that thing swelled up like a softball. Yep, I remember that.
Wow.
Yep, that was the end of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I would imagine so, but yeah, Griff was something special, man, and
Definitely.
it was great. I still think that he has the sweetest swing in all of baseball.
Just beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. Who you got, Rude? Who's your father's son?
I would probably go, since you took Griffey. That would have been my first choice. I'll go the Earnhardts.
Oh wow,
Dale Jr.
That's a solid move. That's a solid move.
I did not see that coming.
I would go. Oh, I mean, you could go.
Did Junior win any Daytonas?
No cup championships, but plenty of races.
Yeah, won some individual races. I would go. I mean, the fun choices: Archie and Peyton and Eli. That's a fun one. But gosh,
Did they ever? I mean, they were so far apart. They didn't play together, right?
Yep. As far as playing together, gosh, Andy, you brought up racing. I don't know if they ever raced together. Lee and Richard Petty.
That I don't know.
I'd have to look.
Yeah.
That would be another one. The King, baby, the King. Andy, here's one for you.
Mm-hmm.
Dick and Pete Weber.
Oh,
DW.
Who do you think you are?
I am.
Yep. Legendary.
Yes. Probably the most successful father-son, not necessarily playing together. Bobby and Brett Hull. Couldn't think of the dad.
Huh.
I would probably put them. I think they're both in the Hall of Fame. I think they're both in the NHL Hall of Fame.
I think you're right.
So I would probably do something like that. Some other notables, father-son duos, again, not necessarily playing together. The Bonds, Bobby and Barry.
Mhm.
We've got Gordy and Mark Howe.
Yeah.
Calvin and Grant Hill. Here's one that I think Ken Norton Sr. and Ken Norton Jr.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Nice.
Boxing and football.
Yep.
What about Steph Curry and his pops?
Seth and Dell.
Yep.
There we go.
That's a solid one. Here's one that is unique. Let's see. It is. I had to look it up. Wait for it. Man of War and War Admiral.
Oh. All right.
There we go. We even brought horse racing. Where's Ort?
Jokic is loving it.
All right. Moving right along. We move into our next segment. The quest for $1 billion.
I'm intrigued.
Same here. What we got?
So as we talked about last week, Inside Out came roaring into the theaters. Inside Out 2 and just dominated the year for movies. After week 2, their current worldwide total is 863,206,000. So they've got about 136 million more to go to reach $1 billion. I did not see it yet, but at the movies, speaking of movies, I saw Bad Boys 4. It was Bad Boys. I mean, the guy was
big surprise.
my boss that I was watching it with, he goes, in the first 10 minutes, he's like, this is like a Will Smith redemption story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen it, Snates?
Hell no. No.
There's a line in the first, probably maybe 20 minutes where Martin Lawrence's character goes to Will Smith and he says, you're going to be tested in your life. There's going to be tests coming your way that you'll have to survive.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
What's your real name?
No. Before you changed it.
Giuseppe Petri. Geez, I knew it.
Jeez, I knew it.
So Inside Out 2, only 136 million. I believe that's well within its reach.
Yeah.
The question comes in. Here's our bonus question, folks. How many $1 billion movies have there been? How many movies have made $1 billion at the worldwide box office or more? I'll give you some time to think about it while you guys are thinking.
Rude. You got a guess?
I think it's a lot more common over the last 5 or 6 years. Probably last 10 years. 25.
25. We have a 25er.
Yeah. I think it's less than that. I'm going to go with Mark Grace. 17.
All
right. Closest without going over is Andy, and he's not very close at all. The answer is 53 movies.
Whoa!
$1
billion.
Wow.
Next question. How many have made $2 billion at the box office? Yeah. Yep. I'm bringing it, fellas.
Well, I'll stick with my 17. 17's involved somewhere. What we got?
3.
17 and 3. The answer is 6. There have been 6 $2 billion movies.
So what do we got? We got Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Star Wars: The Force Awakens is number 5.
Titanic.
Titanic is number 4 at 2.2 2 million. Star Wars: The Force Awakens was at 2.07 billion.
Avatar.
Avatar is numero uno at 2.9 billion, almost the only $3 billion movie.
That's a big boy.
So we've got 1, 4, and 5.
Avatar: The Way of Water.
Avatar: The Way of Water is number 3 at $2.3 billion.
Did you guys see that? You guys go see it?
Yeah.
In the theater? The whole bit?
No.
Oh.
Not The Way of Water. Not in theater.
Ah, man.
So how many are we missing?
You are missing number 2 and number 6.
Oh.
Number
2 and 6.
Number 6.
It's got to be a Star Wars, right?
These aren't adjusted for inflation, right?
Right. No, this is just total.
Straight up cash money, homie.
Straight K.
I think the highest grossing Star Wars movie
was The Force Awakens?
Force Awakens.
You are correct, sir.
Okay.
God dang. It should be
Maverick didn't. Top Gun Maverick didn't get up to 2, did it?
No, it did not. It got up to 1.49 billion. Number 12 on the list.
Ah, okay. Is it animation?
No, but there's a lot of CGI in it.
Lord of the Rings, Return of the King?
No. It's from a franchise.
Jurassic Park?
Nope.
Why don't you just tell us?
Getting there. Why don't you tell us what movie you're interested in? This one, number 2, for a brief moment in time, passed Avatar before Avatar was re-released in theaters.
Oh, wow.
Came out in 2019.
God dang, I'm gonna kick myself. 2019.
Hot to Trap.
Infinity War.
Oh, Endgame.
Endgame. Snake.
Endgame.
2.799 million. So
great movie.
Right now it is 1.3 million behind 1.3 billion or 1.3. There's a lot.
Gigawatts?
100 million. Number 6. Andy, you said
Infinity War. Yeah.
Infinity War.
Yep.
At 2.052 billion.
Man.
Which you got 2 Avatars and 2 Avengers movies.
Which I'd like to point out started with Iron Man.
That's
if
right.
Iron Man, if they listen to me, we'd never know about these movies. Yep, they'd just be a comic book. Bunch of guys reading it. This would make a great movie, wouldn't it? No.
No, seen The Rocketeer.
Seen The Rocketeer.
I was scrolling down to look at the $1 billion movie. I didn't find it. So, $1 billion, 53 movies. Do you consider a billion? What is Funkel? Since you are huge movies, what is your, not your personally, but in the world of movies, what do you take as a, we'll call it like a mega hitter? What's that line? Is it still a billion? Is it 1.5? Is it what number do you put on it to be a, we'll call it a top tier commercial success? Knowing now that there are 53 movies that have made $1 billion.
Well, it depends on the budget to me. Because I see a bunch of indie flicks, and if they just 10x their whatever their budget was, then that's a huge hit, and that'll get them to make another movie. So that would be one of the criteria, is how much they're spending for it. But there are some movies that when you see that they spent like $200 million on something, and you're just like, what a waste of money. There was one like the Gods of Egypt or something like that that they spent $150 million on CG. I watched 2 minutes of the trailer and I was like, no way I'm ever going to watch that movie. and it didn't make anything back. But I would say that a mega hit, if it's making 5 times whatever its budget is, I would call that a mega hit.
Okay.
What do you think?
And Andy, what about you? What's your number, or do you look at it the same way, or do you just look at it as a number?
Well, I think anytime anything hits $1 billion, it's a mega hit. I think Jake, you were the one that came up with or the explanation between $1 million and $1 billion. Was that? Did we talk about that?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up again.
People. It helps illustrate the difference between, so even with a $250-300 million budget, it's something hitting a billion for people who don't just think, oh, that's a lot more than $1 million. And I try not to butcher it too much, but
go for it.
Yeah, a million seconds is like 30 days.
13.
All right. And then a billion seconds is
30 years.
So that should illustrate the difference between a millionaire and a billionaire. That's gargantuan.
Yeah.
The difference in there. So when you hear, a billion is just an unfathomable amount of money. That's just crazy. That's somebody giving you $1 every second for 30 some years. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I would think one of the more impressive feats, I think, Joker hit $1 billion.
Right.
You are correct.
And the budget on that had to be next to nothing by today's standards.
I think it was around 100.
I mean, because there weren't a lot of special effects.
I think it's just like shut down and crew just accrues so much money anymore. Can you look up the budget for Joker? I want to say it was around 100 million.
Budget 55 million.
Whoa.
Yep.
Damn.
But for Joker 2 coming out this year.
Yeah.
You want to guess the budget on that one?
100 million.
200 million.
Well, they're going to balance it out because, I mean, as good as that was a surprise hit for it to reach $1 billion.
Oh, 100%. It had everything going against it. It was rated R. It, I mean, it basically could have passed off as an indie movie, if you'd taken off, if nobody had ever heard of the Joker or anything like that.
Right.
I mean, it was a character piece.
Yeah. Well, almost like Split with M. Night Shyamalan. That movie, if you took out the Joker, Split was that character, where it had split personality kind of thing, and then he was doing all kinds of nefarious
wacky hijinks.
Yes. But that turned out to be a surprise hit as well. But that was just an indie with, at the time, nobody really big in that. James McAvoy was still, he was a good actor, obviously, but not a Joaquin Phoenix currently. So, yeah, you're right. It's basically an indie movie for 55 million to make that, and then so that's a lot of X's times that. So what is that? It would be 2 times just to get to 100, and then 100 million times 10. So that's 20x their money.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's how you get a $200 million budget the next time out.
They ain't 20x in this 200 million budget, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was so impressive about that too, because I've only seen Joker twice. It is not a feel-good movie.
No, I've seen it multiple times.
Let's go back and catch that for the warm fuzzies. It's a hard watch, man. That's disturbing.
Well, you get into I don't know, Trav, if you've heard any the fan theories, and I was at a Q&A with Todd Phillips, and he talked about they took one scene out to keep people kind of guessing, because there was a scene in there where they, the next door lady, his girlfriend, he thought it was his girlfriend, and it was like figment of his imagination. So all through this movie now, everything is from Joker's perspective, right? And he's involved in about every scene. But when he was on the talk show with Robert De Niro, they had a scene that had her watching the show from her apartment and seeing him on the show. So when they took that, because that solidified it as being real, okay? When somebody else is watching it on a show, it's no longer a first person from the Joker and a figment of his imagination. So when they took that out, there are all kinds of fan theories now about, oh, well, it starts with him with the psychiatrist and him already being in the ward. So all of this is just playing out in his mind, and he never did any of those killings at all. He just had it in his head.
Yeah, you know what? I've got a theory, since we've hijacked this all to hell anyway.
Let's go for it.
Watching the trailer again for Joker 2.
Yeah.
My prediction is that Harley Quinn is a figment of his imagination.
Oh yeah.
That's my watch the trailer again, and every scene that you kind of see her in, she could just as easily be not there.
The one that I'm hesitant on is the very end when with the lipstick.
Mm-hmm.
She's across the way, and with lipstick, there's a physical thing. So he's got to be talking to somebody now. Is this a Fight Club thing?
Maybe. I mean, that's kind of my radical theory, because one of the things he says in there is, the thing we should be talking about is that I'm not alone anymore.
Right.
So, I mean, and the whole musical aspect is, the literal translation of the film, Folie à Deux, is madness.
Look at the Frenchman over here now.
Madness for two is what that means. So we'll see. But I want to put it in here in case I'm right.
Okay.
If I'm not, forget it.
Timestamped it. Good job. Yep.
Joker, by the way, number 37 on the list at 1.078 billion. As we wrap this up, a couple movies as I was going through the list that kind of made me go, wow. There were two of the Fast and Furious movies that made over $1 billion. Zootopia made over $1 billion. Big Disney fan here.
Great movie.
That one kind of surprised me. Yes. Skyfall made over $1 billion.
Oh, that was a great film.
Yeah.
The other one that surprised me, it's like number 50 on the list. Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland made over $1 billion. So
really,
yeah,
that one.
I saw that. I could not believe that. That blew me away that made $1 billion. That goofy ass dance at the very end. No way that should have been making $1 billion. Crazy.
Yeah. So number 53, the last one, Jurassic World Dominion. Barely crossing it. $1,978,080.
Rim scraper, as they call him.
Hey. Okay. Terms of endearment.
Like a dunk? A rim scraper? A dunk?
Yep.
It's kind of a dunk? Not really.
Oh
but
my.
People are cheering anyways. Hey.
Yeah. It was like, he stuffed it.
That's
where the ball goes in before, and then your hand just.
Yeah, it's really a shot, and then he touches the rim.
And then, Inside Out 2. Hope to see it cross $1 billion. Good news for Disney either way. And there was stuff about Joker. A very hot take that we'll remember when the time comes. Our next topic, ladies and gentlemen, we've been pushing Andy's buttons this episode. But now we drive right into his wheelhouse. And that's right, folks. If you've paid attention to the show, it's time. There he is, Mr. Excitement himself. we've got WNBA talk, and the big talk coming out of this week when it comes to this show is the Indiana Fever losing their game, which would have been the 27th. Yes.
Yeah.
The 27th. The Indiana Fever fall to the Seattle Storm, 89-77. One of the things that I kind of wondered, and that I had talked to Andy about and Ort about in chats, is they were beating equivalent teams. They were beating teams with losing records or close to it for the majority of their run. So they were competitive in that second tier. So what happens when they're on a roll and they face one of the better teams in the league? The Seattle Storm, 11-6, but Fever lose by 12. But the big story out of that one is Coach Sides of the Indiana Fever coming out after the game, but not necessarily all on Caitlin Clark. Said Caitlin Clark needs to shoot the ball more, but we also have to get her open to shoot the ball more. I feel like this one obviously should probably start with Jade's comments, but we'll go ahead and move it over to Andy. Andy, I know you're ready for this hot take. Funkel's over there just biting his tongue. So Andy, take it away.
Yeah. It's Sides talking out of both sides of her mouth. It's literally Caitlin needs to shoot the ball more. And she's true. That's true. She ended up with 3 points in the second half, something like that, I believe, after 12 in the first. Sides has done an excellent job of not letting a shooter get any kind of momentum. And yeah, I mean, it's almost talent to go ahead and kill momentum the way she does. She said at the beginning of the season that, they were going to be a underneath team. Everything was going to feed through Boston, which, okay, that's fine. But the rest of the team, she has to let them know that, because I'll tell you what, you get, earlier she had a press conference in the year when she was like, Caitlin has to, know that and trust that, when she comes down, she gets rid of the ball, the ball will make its way back to her. There are so many possessions when she gets rid of the ball, that ball never comes back. And the plays that they're running, there was a one in the fourth quarter, and you can see it on YouTube where she just kind of throws her hands up because she comes off a screen, and Erica Wheeler, who's running, has the ball at the off the right side of the arc, is looking down low the whole time. And it's like, just missed opportunities like that. And the coaching is god awful. There's so much standing around on that team, on their offense. It's the no motion offense. And it is, they're standing still.
You don't stand still in a motion offense. Yep. We learned that from Bobby, the general.
Yep. So,
and the motion offense.
Yeah, she does need to shoot it more, but you don't end up with 13 assists if you've got golden opportunities to shoot. And it's the coach's job to go ahead and get that. If you're going to run a half court offense, which she likes to do, you need to go ahead and get shots for her. She came from Iowa where they were run and gun. Bring up the tempo. She's averaging 5 point some turnovers a game, I think, this year, which is not great. The Russell Westbrook type numbers for that. But at the same time, I would say of those, 2.5 are probably legitimate turnovers. The other 2.5 are her teammates just can't catch the ball. I've seen numerous times and just go right through their hands. I don't think that they've ever played with somebody like her who can look one way, throw the ball down the court with the other. But that's just something that comes from playing together. So that'll fix itself. But she does need to shoot more. But they, like Side said, I got to agree with her that they need to design things to make it work that way. 15 shots a game is guaranteed. She's going to shoot 13 of those from 3, and she'll hit 4. So, I mean, you're minimum 12 if she gets on a streak, she hit 7 earlier this year in a game. But yeah, it's frustrating to watch because I don't think they know what their identity is. When they were on a roll with Clark and Boston, things were looking really good, but Boston went cold against Seattle, and they just didn't know what to do. They were lost out there, but something needs to be done. The people are going to the people that are going there are going to watch her play. They're going to watch her rain threes, and when she can't do it, and you are watching your post players miss layups, it's kind of frustrating.
You heard it here first. I could hear on the other screen chomping at the bit to get involved in this talk. Funkel, your take on what's going on with the Indiana Fever out there on the West Side?
Well, it's all news to me. I'm hearing this stuff for the first time. But from what you're telling me, they said that the offense is running through Boston underneath. Why the hell they draft her?
Yeah,
she's not an underneath player. She's from the Arc. So if you don't want that kind of offense, why the hell did you draft her?
Yeah, get rid of the coach.
But then that's pretty catty of the coach to be saying that she needs to shoot more. I mean, you don't have to tell the media that. You tell the player that. You coach them.
Yeah.
Why are we knowing about this? That you should be in the locker room saying that to her, not us.
Designing your offense around her.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so she goes cold underneath. Kick that shit out to Caitlin.
Yep.
And rain some threes. Everybody came here to see it. Like you said, they have more people in the stands now than they did last year. Probably more each game than they did all of last year. Probably.
Yep. You're right. You are correct.
The exact quote was, Caitlin Clark needs to shoot a minimum of 15 shots a game is what they told her. Clark's got to get shots, and we've got to do a better job of setting her up, setting some really good screens for her to get open. So that's where Indiana is now. But again, I think Indiana was starting to establish themselves as a top tier 2 team, and it wasn't going to be until you met somebody with a winning record, somebody that was higher up in the league, to see what you were really made of. As far as Andy, what you were saying, she needs to shoot more. So what you're saying is Aaliyah Boston with 16, Nalisa Smith with 11, Kelsey Mitchell with 10, all had more shot attempts than Caitlin Clark. You're telling me that's not a formula to win?
That's not a formula for her to get 15 shots. Not when everybody else is taking that many.
Yes.
So make up your mind, sides.
I don't think I would. This late in the season, I don't think I would see a game that she has the 4th most shots on her team.
This late in the season, how many games do they play?
40.
It's about halfway right now.
She just got drafted.
Yeah, it's 38 games, something like that.
Yep.
They're going to change that. If they're getting all this attendance, they would be a successful business. They're going to get more games, right? No?
Well, yeah. They better have her start raining threes because that's what people want to see.
She making the playoffs?
Right now it's between them and Chicago for the last spot.
And who plays on Chicago? Angel Reese.
Angel Reese.
The NBA could not want more than that. The fight for the last playoff spot.
Yep.
What a battle. What a battle.
Oh man. All right. Now that we've got to talk WNBA, we're gonna bring in the thought-provoking question of the week. I know you guys are looking forward to it every week. Brought to you by none other than Funkel. Now this one, it's a little bit of ego time here, folks.
Yeah.
Who would you want playing you in the film of your life? Now, when I read the question, I was wondering if it was like just our life, like my life, or like our life story with all the friends, where I'm a minor character. I'm still there, but I'm a minor character, where you guys take the forefront, or is it just our own individual life story? So, Snates, was there something that made you think of this question? Something that just came through your mind, something you watched or whatever, or what made you think of this question for this week?
Well, it's a combination of a couple of things. I did see Bike Riders with Austin Butler, who portrayed Elvis.
Yes, he did.
And Tom Hardy, who portrays a guy named Bronson. That's one of the most violent British prisoners ever. And that was one of his like coming out as a good actor movies. And so with them portraying real life people, and saw some TikToks where some people were talking about, oh, if this was my life, this is my main movie character moment. So it's just a combination of those things. So that's why I thought of that and thought I'd send it you guys' way. And so I thought the same thing as you, Trav, where who would I want to be if I was the main character, and who if I was a side character, like somebody else's main thing. So
all right,
I got a couple options, but you always let us go first. So I'd love to hear you first, sir.
Selfishly, if it were my movie and I was the starring role, selfishly because I love him as an actor and he's done pretty much everything. Tom Hanks. I just love comedy. I love, that he was League of Their Own, Big.
Yep.
A lot of stuff that he does, just the way he delivers, especially in younger Tom Hanks, The Burbs, Big, those movies, just the humor. I loved him, kind of crazy, but not to the level of like a Robin Williams crazy, and I just over the years have continued to fall in love with Tom Hanks movies. Loved him as Walt Disney. As you guys know, I'm a huge Disney fan. Loved him as Disney and Saving Mr. Banks. So if that were my main starring role, hey, Tom, you can go ahead and play. You can play me. I'll go ahead and let you. And remember, this question also, dead or alive, doesn't matter. The actor could be dead, alive, whatever.
Sure.
But yeah, Tom Hanks, if I was the main character, would be mine.
Very nice. Rude, who you got?
I'm not a fan of the guy personally, but it would be Shia LaBeouf.
Oh wow!
Yeah, as an actor.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Interesting. Okay.
Anything that he did, or like you said, had to be an actor. What are there any roles or anything, Andy? That
yeah.
Well, I told Jake I just watched the Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Last week, I had never seen it before,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I thought he did an amazing job in that.
He's great, man.
Yeah, great in Fury.
Yeah.
So real versatile. I think he's got some screws loose in the real world, but a hell of an actor.
Yeah, I didn't mind him as the son in Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. I didn't mind that at all.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind his portrayal. I thought the way it was written and whatnot. Just
you didn't like the movie.
Forced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that character is not in there, it really doesn't. The character could disappear and it wouldn't, add or subtract anything. But his portrayal, I didn't have a problem with.
Yeah. Have you seen Trev? Have you seen any of Shia LaBeouf's movies other than like Transformers or anything?
Fury, obviously Indiana Jones that you guys were just talking about, and does Holes count?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was his first one, man.
Yep. So yeah, those are some of the other ones.
Did you guys see him in Project Greenlight?
Nope.
With on Max, so they were Matt Damon and Ben Affleck were doing a Project Greenlight, and they were doing a contest for a script, and they were going to make a script, and they were doing a docuseries on it. And he was Shia LaBeouf was the kid from Holes that they cast, and it was with Amy Smart was the love interest, and it was called Battle of Shaker Heights.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Which the movie was, I mean, Shia was incredible. He's great, charismatic, and I thought he was going to be a star based off of that. He was really good as a person auditioning and coming in for callbacks. So it was really great to see something like that. So I highly recommend taking a look at that.
I will.
I think it's still on Max. It was a Max original production.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what we've all been waiting for, Funkle. I'm
So-
excited. I'm excited.
I'm glad you put up there. It's ego time because when I was younger, I was fancying myself, kind of looking and having some of the mannerisms of a young Matt Damon back in the day. Before I had this beard,
Okay.
I think a Matt Damon would fit my role pretty well and be able to do a good job. And it would be, and like I said, this is usually seasonal, so this is coming off here pretty soon. But it does. It's almost like a mask where I can be two different people every year. So it's pretty fun to be able to have something like that. So it's gonna come off soon, and Matt Damon's gonna portray me in my movie.
Right on.
Yep.
Or a Tom Hardy. I'll take a Tom Hardy as second if Matt's a little busy.
Matt, I understand it. You're a little bit too busy.
Yeah.
Tom, have your guy call my guy. We'll talk.
Right.
So there you have the thought-provoking question of the week. Now, you know what? I'd like to make an announcement.
Oh.
We have a new segment. That's right, a new segment
on aisle 12.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go on. Would you like to?
That's right, folks. The new segment is titled "Your Playlist Sucks. You Can Borrow Ours," and our goal every week is to add us on to a playlist that will be on Spotify that you guys can link to, that you can download and see what you think. And we'd love, obviously, like any YouTube video, we'd love comments, suggestions. We probably won't go with them, but we'd love the comments that you would add to the playlist so it doesn't suck. Funkle, this was your idea. What drove this idea?
I'm constantly loving playlists and trying to get people to be interactive with us. I'd like to hear what other people are thinking, and for us to come up with a different song about every episode and just give a little bit of our personality and let the audience kind of be interactive with that and see what we're thinking, and to add to some of the things that maybe their taste is a little stale to them and they're tired of repeating things over and over again. So I thought maybe a fresh outlook from us, it'll give us a little creativity and show our different personalities to the fans out there. So I thought a playlist would be a great way to do that. Rude, I think you might have been the one that brought up a playlist, right?
I think it was a team effort.
Oh, yay team. Rudimentary. We did it.
Team.
Part of a team.
Team.
A team.
This is exciting. Again, it'll be on Spotify. You can link to it. You can download it. And we hope you do. But most importantly, we hope you give some suggestions in the comments to us that you would like to see, or as the list grows, if you like it, if you don't like it, if you think our playlist sucks, you'd be wrong. Yeah. But if you think it sucks, you can also let us know. That's why you're borrowing ours.
That's right.
Did we decide in pre-show who's nominating the very first song?
I think Snakes goes first.
I love it.
I go first? Well, it's really, as you know, it's really hard for me to narrow it down to one, guys.
So here's my 3 first picks.
All right, guys. If I had to make the first pick,
well, I wanted to bring one song up for you specifically, Rude, because it was years ago. where and kids are gonna have to let us just sit in our rocking chair for a minute. We had CDs, and we would just buy them without warning. And if it was an older song, it would have to be it wouldn't be a single. So you would just buy it and be like, I wanted one song, but I'm buying the whole CD.
$15 later.
$15 later, you have the whole album and you got your one song, but you got a lot of shit with it.
Yep.
And that band was. Do you remember this?
I do. The band was the Kinks, right?
The band was the Kinks, and I was going to say the song I would like, but I'm not. This was going to be to bring you into it. It's called Ape Man. Have you ever heard the Kinks' Ape Man?
I don't think I have.
Okay. No, I know I haven't.
Okay, so that's not my song, but it's all about this guy, the Kinks that are talking about, like, I'm an ape man. I think I'm really refined and I think I'm really smart, but I'm really just an ape man.
Okay.
And so that was kind of like our theme of Rudimentary. We make simple things difficult.
Nice. I'll check it out after this.
So the song that I'm recommending is, and I'm trying to be a B-side Benny here. I don't want to give the most popular things that's easy to hit on all the lists. So I'm trying to give something a little deeper cut. And so I would go with a band called Pulp, Pulp, and the song is Common People. So that will be my addition. And Common People, this is one that it's a toe tapper. So it starts out slow, and then by the end of it, you're singing out the lyrics as it's coming up, and I love it. So Common People, a couple of common people like us. If we're just trying to be,
that's us.
That's us. All right, who's next, fool?
Trav, go ahead.
I'm going to be an A-side Adam. And is that, I don't know.
Oh, okay, sure.
If I were to put one song on, which I'm doing right now, it would be "Don't Be Cruel" by Elvis. That's going to go on from my recommendation on the playlist. Yes, it's a huge one for him, but it was one of those songs, and everybody has them. We can even get into this next week. One of those songs that you hear, and there's just something about that song that grabs your attention, no matter what you're doing. And growing up, Dad was a huge Elvis fan, listened to Elvis a ton. Went to Graceland. I still have a picture somewhere of Andy and I at Graceland. But yeah, Don't Be Cruel. There's so many Elvis songs I could have picked from. I could have went lesser known. Could have went bigger songs than that. There's not many, but there are some. But Don't Be Cruel, just because anytime I hear that opening, that guitar opening, it's whatever I'm doing. I'm stopping, I'm toe tapping, and I'm singing along.
Yeah. That's great. That's what this is all about.
Yeah. Yep.
Rude.
I'll go with one that's kind of in the middle of well-known to B-side. It's going to be right in the middle there. And it's really weird when I was thinking about this. This is going to be one that neither one of you is going to see coming.
I'm changing mine, by the way. Go ahead.
Here's a song for you guys on the playlist. Let me take that back.
Right back.
Little teaser.
It's a song about, and I could gladly never relate to this, but the song puts it out there so well that when I listen to it, I think, oh my God, how awful would that be? It is, the lyrics are so good and so powerful, but in a package that is like really easy to digest and understand where he's coming from. Okay. And the song is Wonderful by Everclear. And it has to do with a kid whose parents' marriage is falling apart and they're on their way to divorce. And it's from his perspective, probably elementary school age. And, I should have looked up to see if Art Alexakis I'm assuming he wrote it, the lead singer of Everclear. If that was his story or somebody that he knew, but it there's just a really powerful part in there towards the end of it when he's going, saying these things that I would imagine any parent who has children who's trying to explain to them that their parents are gonna divorce and whatever, and try, especially a young kid. There's a part in there that says oh god dang it, hold on one second, this is great airtime.
This is called screw it up. While he looks that up.
Well, is Everclear the guy that sings Local God and Father of Mine?
Yeah, Father of Mine.
Father of Mine.
Yep.
And then Local God was the song.
And a song called Santa Monica.
Hey, now we're talking. All right.
Let's see here. So, the lyric I'm talking about. Let's see.
It's one of them. Funkle, as you think about trying to take your song back while he's looking up the lyric for it. That's a bold move, Cotton. Bold move.
I thought about it the other day, and I was like, that's a perfect song to use. And that was 2 days ago. But this afternoon, when I was driving around in Beverly Hills, I was like, oh, man, this is some great jams. That's right. So I forgot. I didn't write it down. I got to write things down.
Not while you're driving.
But not while I'm driving, exactly. So I lost it.
Then the changeover. That was last week. We talked about having one item, and Funkle started off with I have 3. So
yeah, that's a bargain. So
a tripod is a one item, right? But it's got 3 legs.
How about that?
There we go. Good call.
A pair of underwear. One item.
One item.
But a pair.
Yes.
So again, this song has to do with this kid's parents' marriage falling apart and how he's trying to process it. And it's when he's saying this stuff, it's like it's the answer to all the things that you would think a parent would be telling, trying to explain and soften for the kid. And he's replying things in here. He says, I don't want to hear you tell me everything is wonderful now. I don't want to hear you say that I will understand someday, right? Because that's, someday you'll understand why, And it says, I don't want to hear you say we both have gone in a different way. I don't want to meet your friends, and I don't want to start over again. I just want my life to be the same, just like it used to be. And it just, it's really powerful. Like I said, my parents are both, they're married. So it's just weird that, I could hear that and relate enough to, man, that would be miserable for this kid.
Mm-hmm.
But, I thought it was really well written, and just something every time I hear it, I'm like, man, that's a well done, hurtful song, but it's a good one.
Yeah, sounds like it. I'll have to check it out. I can't think of it offhand. Have you heard it before, Trav?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
It'll be on the playlist.
Hey, perfect. We'll be able to listen to it.
Speaking of the playlist, it's the moment we've all been waiting for, guys. Funkle, who with Andy came up with this idea. Funkle is ready to give us his the playlist.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Can't wait. Go ahead.
Here we go.
You ever heard of a group called Pulp?
No, this is a real behemoth of a song. It is Steelers Wheel stuck in the middle with you.
Forever cemented.
That's right.
Oh my God, I see one thing.
I know you do. But the lyric was, I don't know why I came here tonight. I got a feeling there's something ain't right. And here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Fans to the rest of me. Jokers to the right. And Joker. Hey, look at that.
Yeah. Full circle.
Full circle.
There you have it, folks. The first 4 songs added to the Your Playlist Sucks, You Can Borrow Ours. All 4 of them will be released on the playlist after this show. Go
Soon.
look on Spotify.
Soon.
By the time you're watching this, you can go there.
That's right.
It'll be linked in the notes.
As always, make sure to comment. There are a lot of things to comment on, whether it's Andy's disdain for a country called France, whether it's the non-committal nature of snakes on the playlist.
One means one. I'm sure I'll hear that.
Or whether it's ego time, where one of the greatest actors of our generation, Tom Hanks, my part.
Yeah, take it over as the podcast host.
Tom, if you ever want to sit in on this podcast, please reach out. Closing thoughts. Funkle, start with you.
Yeah. Well, this has been a lot of fun, and it's really hard for me to make decisions, but I'm glad I made the decision to be sitting here and chatting about this stuff with you.
Thank you. That's awesome. Andy, final thoughts.
Put your shopping carts away.
Again, folks. Again.
And if you ride your bikes, do wear white. You want to be visible.
Shopping carts away. Final thought from me is
what you got?
Hey, let's do this. Bronny, King James together.
Yeah.
Championship. Let's go. Number 18 for the Lakers. Coming at you.
Right. Yep.
All right.
Coming at you.
As always, we want to thank you for being on this journey with us. It says it right at the bottom. Thank you for listening to all you guys that have listened. The social media parts are in the works. The Instagram is set up. The Facebook will be set up. We are looking into live streaming through other platforms. So we're excited. Most of all, we just enjoy having fun. You can see the laughter that just happens no matter what. And, whether it's taken seriously from Andy on the WNBA, whether it's taken seriously on One Means One from Funkle, there are just all kinds of things that happen. But all of us, we thank you. Reach out to us. The email is set up, so there's that. It's rudimentarypodcast@gmail.com. We'll come at you real soon with the social media channels. We look forward to hearing from all of you out there. Thanks again for listening.